Welcome, everybody, to the crown of Ignotus. As dusk turns into twilight here, we are overseeing kind of our progress of the town in episode 4. Here we are in episode 4. We're here at the crown. We're coming down. And we built this church last episode, which I'm really proud of, if I'm being completely honest. And in the previous episodes, we built this little mining thing. So we have to get a little serious. There's a lot of work we have to do in this area to be ready for the season finale here, or the series finale. So we are going to clean up a lot of this kind of junk. We're going to automate these farms of bamboo, sugarcane, and wheat. And then we're also going to move these animals. So we're going to move everything inside. I know, the inside looks like trash, so we have to clean everything up in here. It's going to be a little bit of work, but we are going to actually finally make an interior for this space. I'm so excited. So if you haven't guessed already, the theme of this episode is cleaning up. We're getting serious about this world. I want to... oh, my chains are finally oxidizing. Oh, this is so exciting. We must do that right now. So in the spirit of cleaning up and touching up, we are going to be doing this right now because I'm just so excited. And then we'll also talk about what we're going to do next. This is the color I'm looking for. Wow, that is just so much better. Are these already, what the heck? Did somebody already do these? Oh my goodness, this has already been done. But yeah, in the spirit, there's just a couple spots that we missed. Oh, well, never mind. In the spirit of cleaning up, we're gonna start with, I'm scared to move this. I'm so terrified to move this. This pen, there's so many things in there. I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but we'll figure it out eventually. But in the spirit of cleaning up, we're gonna get rid of these fields here. And we are going to start laying out our paths kind of first and foremost. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a screenshot of the landscape here. And we are going to kind of go into MS Paint here. I know, this is going to be so exciting. MS Paint, and we're going to plan. We're going to plan. Oh my goodness. We're going to block out kind of where we want our buildings to be. We're going to close off this cave as well. So say goodbye to the big ugly hole in the ground. We're going to plan out some stuff. Now I've recorded myself about 5 times trying to explain exactly what I want to have happen in Paint. So before we go in Paint, we need to establish our lines of sight, our primary vantage points. And I've placed some nether wart blocks. I'm going to get rid of this one particularly. I've placed some nether wart blocks that establish where we are looking at our builds from. So when we're composing in this 3D space, we have all these different spots that we want to be looking out from. I'm talking with my hands like you can see them right now. And these spots are going to be our primary vantage points. And we need to know where they are in advance before we start building foreground elements. So a great example of that is when this happened by accident, and I kind of just outlined it in dirt, but I thought that this line of sight was great. It's partially obstructed. It makes it feel tight and enclosed, this kind of area we are in, even though it's fairly open. And that's kind of the vibe I want. I want this nice open space, but I want to make it feel constricting. So we have to be very conscious about where we put these trees and structures, these kind of in-between structures in our map. Before any map comes a necessary background image of our space. And we are going to be using an orthographic projection of our space here. Now let me explain to you really fast of what orthographic projection is. This is a prime example. I'm going to zoom in as far as I can. So if we look at these these 3 elements in our image right now. We have a foreground element. We have something in the middle ground, this iceberg, and we have something very far. We have that ruined portal. Now, in perspective, this bamboo rod looks way bigger than that ruined portal in the background. And this is how we would expect things to look. Things in the distance are smaller than the things in the foreground. It is how we perceive the world through our eyeballs. And with orthographic projection, this is going to look weird and it's going to look dumb. With orthographic projection, we are kind of in F5 right now. So we're going to jump down here. What you can see happen is that these become the same size. Objects in the far distance are the same size as objects in the close. So you're asking, why does this matter? This looks like an egregious way to play the game. It doesn't look like you're moving forward when you like fly and stuff. Because again, you're not moving closer towards those objects. They're kind of just moving along with you. And it looks really dumb. Why would you ever play like this? Well, you wouldn't play, but to take screenshots from top down, you're starting to see something, right? And I am going to switch to free cam here, I think. And I'm going to, essentially what we're going to do is zoom out. Now we start seeing a different picture. We start seeing everything here as projected. And now we can see those top of those vantage points very clearly. And everything looks just like a solid block. So we're going to zoom out a little bit more. We zoom in one more. And so here is our map. It's a topographical projection of the blocks themselves. I know this is a long, rambling explanation for what orthographic versus perspective is, but this is what we are talking about. It is a way where you can do this. And I've done this with a mod called OrthoCam or something along those lines. So if you are looking for maps that look like this for your Minecraft worlds for planning purposes, this is it. This is how you do it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a screenshot and we're going to open up this screenshot and we're going to bring it into our drawing space. And here we are. Look at this. This is a beautiful space to plan, draw. I'm using the software Credit. It's a free software. So feel free to download it. But we are going to start thinking about our lines of sight. So from standing here at this point, we want to be able to see that over there. I'm gonna lower that the stroke on that. So from these 2 points, I want to be able to see, right? I'm gonna make these lines pretty straight, as straight as I can. From this point, we've actually almost lucked out, and we've almost brought these along the same line. So we're gonna call that the same line here. Actually, we'll probably maybe even split the difference between them. Probably like right about here. There we go. That's good. And then from our tavern, we're going to be seeing this. So from this point, from this viewpoint, we can see our primary shaft up here. We can see, or our secondary shaft, I should say. We can see our church and we can see our tavern. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What we can do is we can start crossing these points over. So from here, I want to be able to see the tavern in a specific light. From here, I want to see the head frame. Actually, I don't think I can because I'm crossing over this building, so I'm not going to draw that line. Maybe from here, I just want to very specifically be able to see the head frame. From the head frame, I want to be able to see the tavern. So now we start developing these lines that are coming over our page. And what we can do now is we can very specifically place items in these cross-sectional spaces, and they will act as a foreground element for the thing in the background. So what we're doing is composing our image based off of what is close to us and what is far to us. And in here now, by placing this one tree, we have framed our tavern to head frame to tavern, and we have also framed this cross-section from our church to our thing. So these are our optimal lines, essentially. This is what's going to inform our decisions about where our trees go, where our small structures go, how everything comes together. So I've drawn this directly on the background like a fool, so I'm going to redraw this on a separate layer so we can turn it on and off and take a look at these sight lines a little bit more in depth. We can add sight lines, add components to what the space as we start building out our town. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. What the heck am I looking at? Let me untangle it for you. Future buildings. Wow. Residential, large house, blacksmith, mud mason, butcher, tanner, warehouse, tavern, well, a couple other buildings scattered throughout here, a community farm taking up this area, or processing and a port. That is our main areas of our spots here. It's kind of be our main buildings, and those were informed by a couple different things. One of them being the path system. Oops, no, it's not the path system. The path system of our town. So as you can see, I've made this kind of town square here, or triangle, I suppose. It's town triangle here, and the well's going to be on this corner. And that's going to be the kind of focal point of all of my lines of sight here on this side. I've also mapped out a few more lines of sight for these buildings over here. The big house can see the large warehouse. The church can see the warehouse. Church can see maybe the front of the tavern, or more, I guess, a holistic side view of this tavern area, the sitting space. So pretty much the church has a fairly holistic view of this entire town. One thing I wanted to make sure is that the church is fairly centrally placed in the middle of the town, because that's usually how it is with these small kinds of towns. And then you can access pretty much anywhere from the central hub of this church. We're going to build a tavern down here, and it's going to make this kind of work, this necessity circle here. This is the necessities circle. Anything, that looks really bad. I'm not going to draw a circle for that. So it makes this kind of circle here of necessities, of your church, your eat, your work on this side. So it's kind of like these three-part things where you go to work, you go to church, you go to the tavern. Simple as that. And then over here, it's your small-time kind of people. And I've cut intentionally off these lines of sight so that this is more localized. So this feels like a very different area when you walk into it, so that you can't really see past here too much. So all of these lines of sight, again, are going to inform where our small structures are placed and where our buildings are. Is this too much? Is this too complicated? Yeah, probably a little. But on top of all of that, boom, we have our minecart tracks. So these tracks are going to be from our different shafts into our processing plants, out of the processing plants and into the port, and then to our two major things that need ore to function, which is the blacksmith and the warehouse. So all of these things are going to get fed, kind of like the supply of ores from the primary processing plant here. And these are going to be high above the paths so that you would like walk underneath them. I still have to decide what exactly I want to kind of design all these things, but this is a rough outline. I know it doesn't look rough. Well, it looks really rough. With all that said, we need to clean this area up. We have so much stuff going on. And honestly, the outside starts with a little bit of cleanup here on the inside. So I've been just kind of touching up this place on stream. So if you want to see a little bit more of the touch-up process, swing on by. But right now, we are kind of moving our farms into more permanent positions. With all of this fun stuff. So we got, our villagers are still here, but we moved the bees from that corner off into this little space. And I want to continue to polish up all this. This is our new nether portal. I think it looks really cool. I think it looks pretty rad. Excited about that. And I've been gathering, well, as you can see in my inventory, a lot of redstone. And for a very good reason. We are going to upgrade our storage system once again. This works, it's fine, it does the job, but also, it's pretty, there's no auto-sorting feature, it's super manual, it's hands on deck. We're also starting to run out of room in some of these spots. Look at this cobblestone chest. It's almost completely full. So we want to at least double our storage system space. And we are going to do that with a very special system that I created in Creative. So we're just going to quick start up a time lapse and get to building. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the grand reveal of the storage system. Here it is. It's pretty cute. I kind of like it. I think I'm proud of it. And let me break it down for you. So it has two different kinds of sorting. I've combined the best of both worlds with copper golem sorting and just kind of these standard item filters that you can make pretty easily. I have bulk item storage. And then I have copper golem storage. Now, the big difference between these two things is that bulk item storage is exactly what it sounds like. It's got a lot of one type of item. Cobblestone only goes in this chest. And then I like to have variants up in here. Now, this is a manual operation to populate the variants chests. But I think with a little bit of hard work, it'll be good. And I have a tool that helps me with that. If we head on back here, we have this special little chest. Now, this is my input chest. Here it is. Now, if I input an item, or I place an item in my input chest, it will first flow over all of my bulk item, and then it will end up in this chest. And let me tell you, there's something special about this chest. I have a lever here that locks this hopper. You can see that the hopper is currently locked, these two hoppers that it's sitting on, and items go in here. Now, when I dump my inventory in here, there's some items where I want to sort this way, and some items I want to just leave it to the birds over here. So this kind of helps me differentiate the two. If it's an item that I want the copper golems to sort, I can flick this lever, and they shall go. Or if it's a couple different variants of the primary blocks that I'm using, I could pull them out of this spot right here, as well as, I guess, before I even put them in here. But I can pull them out of this spot right here, and I can sort them manually, but when I'm all ready to go, I go, all right, sounds good, boom, and now they're gone, and now they're being sorted by my copper golems. You'll see them start to work. There they go. There they are, copper golems, working hard. They're my favorite. Look at them go. This is a design I found online. I cannot, for the life of me, remember where it was from. I pulled it from one of my old survival worlds when I made it. So I'm sorry for the creator of this system, but it is wonderful, and I use this system pretty exclusively with the copper golems. It works decently fast, especially with a bunch of dudes in there, and it just all works so well. Next item on the docket is to go caving and grab some more resources to fill out the rest of my storage system. There's a couple holes in a couple places. I think I'm running pretty low on these bricks, so we're going to go find a mangrovey forest, biome, whatever you want to call it. And we need some more of these little detailing bits here, these glow berries and these flowers to place on the roof of this spot here. And then also throughout the rest of this thing, I think I'm gonna kind of keep this design language fairly similar between all of it. So yeah, that is where we are, and that is where we're going. So join us, me and Jess over there, on an epic journey to find some epic things. And hopefully we don't die along the way.
Do you hear that? My sanity about to break while everyone I know's out. On a trip, on a boat, on a lake. I'm tired of feeling all FOMO, babe. I don't even care if we stay home. Put our to-do list on ice. Crank the AC to 79 and make a little island right here. And there ain't a but there's not a cloud in your blue eyes. If we need a drink, I'll be the bartender. I got a fifth of Patron and a blender. Baby, slipping on a swimsuit is overrated. We don't need a beach to get a half naked. Life's too short, let's not waste it. Cause paradise is wherever we make it. Paradise is wherever we make it. Till the sun's up Monday, we'll tell our phones, do not disturb. I got my straw hat, babe. And you can finally pull the tags on your Tommy Bahama shirt. Blue crush up on the 85-inch sound machine. When we wanna hear the ocean, I think everything we need is right here. And there ain't a palm tree in sight, but there's not a cloud in your blue eyes. If we need a drink, I'll be the bartender. I got a fifth of Patron and a blender. Baby, slipping on a swimsuit is overrated. We don't need a beach to get a half naked. Life's too short, let's not waste it. Cause paradise is wherever we make it. Paradise is wherever we make it. Oh, this view of you, it's got everything I need. Yeah, the rooms, they're cheap. And if we don't wanna, we don't ever, ever, ever have to leave. Yeah, there might not be a palm tree in sight, but there's not a cloud in your blue eyes. If we need a drink, I'll be the bartender. I got a fifth of Patron and a blender. Baby, slipping on a swimsuit is overrated. We don't need a beach to get a half naked. Life's too short, let's not waste it. Cause paradise is wherever we make it. Paradise is wherever we make it. Paradise is wherever we make it.
Woo! That was a big adventure, and enough of an adventure to complete an episode. Now, I do have one more build montage left with some beauty shots, so stick around. We're going to be finishing up the interior inside there. We're going to be doing it, so stick around till the very end. There may or not be a surprise at the very end either. But that concludes the 4th episode of Ignotus, and I will remind you, this is only a 12-episode journey that we're on. 1 year, 1 month per episode. So thank you for sticking around. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things. Catch me on twitch.tv/LukeTheNuke with a 3 instead of the E. And watch me live. I'd like to do filler work and all these things live on stream. So if you want some of that, then come on over and chat it up. And it's always, where am I? It's always a great time. So without further ado, thanks again for coming along the journey and enjoy this last build montage. I teleported, and I set up this teleportation. I was in the middle of doing some fun little details, and I set up this teleportation to be halfway done. Now I gotta work fast to be halfway done from these. I just broke one, so I can get a good spread of these amethyst clusters. I set up a etho clock. Apparently, this is what this is called. I learned it from a YouTuber. I set it for an hour, and an hour has passed. And here I am, collecting now a bunch of little tiny amethysts, which is awesome. We'll get back to detailing. You don't you worry about that. And I'll show you what I've done, but for right now, we have popped into existence, and we must do what we must do.